Hello everybody, this is Revista by Size, and it's that part of Revista by Size where you sit down, put your feet up, and we listen to Gran Hunter. Gran, how are you?
Very well, buenos días.
First of all, Lionel Messi. It's been published in the English media, but it's gone everywhere, rebounded everywhere else, that the 3 English clubs that have been approaching Messi lately, one of them twice in the last week, are surprised by the reception to their interest. What do you think of that?
Well, for so long as I'm living in this country, I think it's an absolute disaster. I don't want to have to travel very far to watch him. You know better than I do that the climate, not just at the Camp Nou, but in Catalonia, is probably enough to make him and his family scratch their heads and wonder. And I guess, Guillem, at his age, particularly at his age when you get injured, and it seems to him that the tax people are persecuting him, maybe you start to look at your next move and you think, well, my next move, age 28, is going to be vitally important. Do I stay? Do I look at pastures new? Now, I wouldn't pretend to know what he's going to do. But at this stage of his life, with Barcelona running the way that it is, I think it's a story of merit and something that I guess you and I will be talking about for months to come.
It is the closest he's ever been to leaving Barcelona. Doesn't mean he will, but it's the closest he's ever been to leaving Barcelona. So let's play a little game, right? I tell you the reasons why he should go, and you tell me the reasons why he shouldn't. First of all, tax situation. Not only he's paid what is due, he's still going to be prosecuted for the case. Nothing against that, apart from the fact that there are other cases, some of them that haven't been made public, of high-profile sportsmen that actually are not being prosecuted. Number 2, in that situation, the state attorney was the secretary of the Real Madrid board and the Florentino Perez for 6 years. And she insists he's got to be taken to court. So I kind of buy the idea that in this case there's a bit of a conspiracy, and it's not nice to be doing that to somebody who's the #1 taxpayer in Spain. Now, why should he stay?
I think, Guillem, that were I his dad, were I his agent, were I Leo Messi, then, well, Scotland would have a far stronger national team for starters, but I would try to value contentment, happiness. Now, my understanding of him is that he isn't driven by the need to go and prove people wrong about whether he could go to West Brom or Stoke on a midweek night when it's windy and cold and still show it. My understanding is that he's driven by world excellence, by beating the best sides in the world over and over again, and that I don't think he's been making mouth music when he said that he feels comfortable with the brand of football, with the ideal of the club, with the way in which he knows he'll always be asked to play. So I would say to him, stay, because this is a club which will continually make you happy until you go back to Rosario and play for Newell's.
So I'm going to counter-attack, and I'm going to say, yeah, but he's got friends in the Premier League that are saying, okay, you've done it at Barcelona, you've done everything at Barcelona, come over here, test yourself, it'll be a new challenge, a new way of doing things, you'll learn a new language, a new culture, etc. To a Messi that is more mature than he was a few years back with 2 sons, etc. I'm talking about Cesc Fabregas, I'm talking about Kun Agüero. So they're saying, come over here, this is the league where you have to be. What do you say?
Yeah, look, I think that sometimes when you have players who move from the elite part of La Liga to Britain, they're unready, they're not prepared for the cultural change, sometimes they're not prepared for the weather. They like the respect that they're given, they like the fact that they can live a much more hermeneutically sealed life, and they like being out of a country which we both know, Spain, can be deeply irregular, hard to predict. So I see the attractions. I go back to what I said before. He's never done, for example, the double treble. He hasn't, for example, won as many Champions Leagues as he would have liked to have done. I would ask you, and I would ask him, in terms of staying or going, is it really for more money? Is it really to experience life in England, to hold hands with Cesc? I don't think so. That's not what the golden 3-4 years that are left in his career are about. I think those are about 2 things. Dominating the Champions League by winning it 3 more times, and then winning a World Cup with Argentina. And I would ask you, and I'd ask him, which league better prepares you for that? Maybe you'd say England. I'm not so sure.
Good point. Last one. How about if one of those 3 clubs we all know it's going to be Manchester United, Manchester City and Chelsea. The three of them can pay for Lionel Messi. Remember, the story seems to be that perhaps the approach will take place on his last year of his contract in 2017. Imagine one of them convinces Pep Guardiola to come over, and then it's like, you will be working again with Pep Guardiola. Now, what do you say?
I saw, when Guardiola and Messi first worked together, the perfect match, Guillem. I thought that without Pep Guardiola at that age, with that development in his football, in terms of his repertoire, he was the perfect guy, the perfect teacher. Not just changing his position, but making a team work around Messi that brought him up to the perfection that he reached. And I use that word advisedly. Now, if you go back to an old girl, is it always the right thing to do? Has the love changed? Would Pep Guardiola work with him again? Does he still think he's the greatest player he'll ever coach? Yet. Has Messi changed in the interim? Has Messi maybe grown in importance and self-awareness? Did it drive Leo Messi that it was an attraction to work for Pep at Manchester City, United, Chelsea? I accept it would be interesting. Would it make him change countries and change clubs? I'd take a little bit of convincing on that.
Enjoy Sky Sports Live on all screens, on the go, and the best bits on demand.